Breaking news now. Police are looking for a drive-by shooting suspect in North Nashville. This happened just a couple of hours ago on Richmond Hill Drive. 2 shell casings were found on the ground outside this home, and a family was there at the time, but no one was injured, thankfully. Stay with News Channel 5 for updates on this developing story.
And more breaking news we've been watching all night long. A horrible scene at a Donaldson motel where a woman was found brutally stabbed to death overnight. News Channel 5's Dan Kennedy has been talking with investigators who have been there all morning long. The victim stabbed. Do they have any idea who may have done this, Dan?
Steve, that's what investigators are looking into right now, speaking with people who are staying at this motel and looking through surveillance video. There is plenty of it. There's about 12 security cameras here on the property, including several that were pointed at the crime scene door. Right now, they're trying to nail down who is responsible for this crime and getting a solid identity out there. The call came in just after 10 o'clock last night here at the Lotus Inn and Suites just off Stewart's Ferry Pike. Room 225 is where police found a woman stabbed to death inside a motel room. It was just a couple hours ago when the medical examiner came by and took the body away for an autopsy a little later this afternoon. We spoke with one man named William who's staying in a room on the first level. He heard some commotion last night. He didn't think much of it at the time, though. He says he did see the victim a little earlier that day.
I seen the guy and the 2 girls earlier tonight, upstairs, but they was all lovey-dovey.
Now, he went on to say that he watched as a tow truck took away a Crown Vic last night as police were still on the scene. He speculates that was part of the crime scene, and we are still waiting to hear back from police on an identification of the victim. We do know it is a female, and we are waiting to hear from police about any suspect description, whether anybody at this hour has been detained. Once we get that info, we'll post it on newschannel5.com. Reporting live this morning in Donaldson, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
All right, Dan, thank you. And some developing news. What goes up must come down, right? That includes bullets. Metro Police looking into an alleged shooting that happened on Lower Broadway. Here's what happened. A man says he was struck by a stray bullet around 9 o'clock last night, right there in front of the Elvis statue downtown, where people always take their pictures. Well, he told us the bullet hit him in the shoulder. He was checked out by paramedics. He was not hospitalized. He's visiting from Miami, and he says, yeah, it was kind of scary, but it does not impact his great feelings about Nashville.
Gun control is an issue that needs to be addressed, but I mean, it didn't really color my image of Nashville. It's a really beautiful city.
A beautiful city, he says. Great attitude. We appreciate that. It's unknown where that bullet came from or who may be responsible. Maybe somebody just firing a gun in the air. The bullet's got to come down somewhere. We're working to get more information from the police on that shooting.
And the man accused of shooting a Metro councilman is sitting in a Metro jail this morning. Detectives brought this man, Brandon Hunt Clark, back to Tennessee last night. He had been serving time in Mississippi. The 20-year-old was wanted for the November shooting of former councilman Lonell Green.
We are getting our first look now at the Memphis mom accused of killing 4 of her children. Shanithia Gardner was arraigned in a Memphis courtroom by video yesterday. She's accused of stabbing 4 of her small children to death, all under the age of 5. There was a 7-year-old in the home. That little boy somehow escaped. Gardner was silent during her court appearance and then taken to a mental health facility. She's going to be back in front of a judge next week.
A controversial lawsuit here in Music City is shot down. A lawsuit was filed by 2 groups back in April and concerned gun shows at the Fairgrounds, Nashville. The Tennessee Firearms Association and Bill Goodman's Gun and Knife Show said the Metro Fair Board overstepped its authority when they voted to stop future gun shows, unless new safety regulations were in place. Well, officials decided to dismiss the lawsuit in a hearing yesterday. Chancellor Carol McCoy said neither group had the right to sue or claim Metro was forced to contract with them. Meanwhile, the University of Tennessee has agreed to settle a high-profile discrimination lawsuit. Now, the school will pay nearly $2.5 million in settlements. The suit included several Jane Does who alleged they were assaulted by male athletes and said the school did little to punish the men, creating a culture that allowed that behavior. UT will also appoint an independent commission to review the response to sexual assault at all UT campuses. Although the university is settling, they are not admitting any guilt. For the official statements, just head over to newschannel5.com.
A mid-state man caught under the sheets with a stolen mannequin Christopher Wade was arrested Monday after police say he grabbed the life-sized mannequin from the Hustler Hollywood on Church Street in downtown Nashville. Authorities say the 55-year-old man entered the store just after midnight, stole the mannequin, the one closest to the door, and ran out. Police found him in bed with it and arrested him. Amy, your turn.
Let's get to other news now, shall we?
Okay.
Senator Bob Corker is rumored to be on Donald Trump's short list for vice president. You knew that. But yesterday, the Tennessee Republican campaigned with the presumptive GOP nominee. Senator Corker joined Trump in the key swing state of North Carolina. The crowds were excited at the event, chanting Trump's name and holding up signs.
Let me just say this. The reason you love him so much is because he loves you. He loves you, and he wants the best for you, the Republican nominee for President, Donald Trump.
Corker said he spent the day with Trump and met his family. We may know as soon as next week who Trump will choose as his VP.